Hello, testing, testing. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay, I think I've already hooked into the microphone here. Well, anyway. Hey guys, welcome back to another Visual Studio Code live stream. I'm your host, Morgan Ozpin. I apologize for the background noise. If you guys are hearing some noise in my background, I apologize. It's just my freaking fans blowing out in behind me. But anyway, we're gonna be doing some more coding stuff in my website, guys. As you can see here, I've already opened up Visual Studio Code and my website in my own local computer. But if you guys are not going to check my website on freaking NeoCities, you would have noticed now that I've already updated a little bit of stuff there, including some of the design elements in my website. Not really that big of a deal, really. I just sort of made sure that all these elements shrink and expand correctly whenever you zoom in and out. And I did that by freaking putting all of my elements into a table. That way it doesn't like go all over the place whenever I zoom in and zoom out. And I also what else did I do? No, I think that's it. That's all I did for this website right now. Oh, and also I also did a bunch of other coding projects in the back here. I've created some freaking, well, I didn't recreate anything. I more so just did some studying of more JavaScript just to see what the heck I can do with with JavaScript as a coding language. As you can see here, I've already learned how to do a bunch of methods here. Like, how do I freaking scroll up here? This ain't it. I've learned a bunch of lessons here, like callback functions, freaking the for each method for applying a function for each variable in your array, and also the map method and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been learning more stuff with BroCode, with BroCode's JavaScript tutorial. And I think I'm already in the part where he's going to teach me about the filter function, I think, which has something to do with arrays, which yay. But other than that, that's all I can say about what I've been learning here in JavaScript and on my website. So for today, guys, I don't think I'm gonna do anything that substantial. I'm thinking maybe just adding my image slideshow I did before onto my art page here, as well as do some more updates of my freaking blog posts here. And I also need to make my review of Cobra Kai here, because I think I've just copy pasted a my review here of Jack and the Cuckoo Clock Heart onto the section where I should be talking about Cobra Kai. So we're gonna be doing this for this stream. But before that, let's just do what we should have done before, which is look into some indie websites that may want like a shout out from me. So if you guys are new in this channel, you would know that every now and then I do some digging around the indie web to see some indie websites that I can use as inspiration for my websites over here. It's through these it's through these discovery of some indie websites that I made this little coding project here, called Candlewick Jackson's Corner, wherein it can answer any yes or no question to give him. So why not we try to do that again? But this time we're gonna be looking at Libby. I don't want to go again through NeoCities because I feel like it's a guarantee that I'll find something creative in NeoCities. Not that it's bad, but you know, I want some. I want there to be a little bit of some wild cards whenever I jump into the indie web, and I think Libby does that better than me. So let's go with surprise me. Let's see what Maybe will give me if I just press surprise me. What is this? Actually, wait, I think I've already seen this before. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just type in a keyword here. You guys have any idea on what the keyword should be? Maybe we can type in my name. What happens if I just type in my name? What will Libby give me? Morgan Poets Morgan Kane site. Well, that's not something I wanna look into. How about say writing? Ooh, there's some other stuff here. Actually, wait, no. Actually, let's go with blog. I feel like Wibby just gives me anything under the sun. I want something that's a bit fun, I would say. Let's see. 10th grader speech. Okay, let's see what this one is. Ari Web. Oh wait, no, it's not. Where's the freaking? Here it is. This is the URL blog.ari.it. A 10th grader speech of George Orwell's Animal Farm. Is this the same guy that made 1984? George Orwell, Animal Farm. I'm a 10th grader, and this week I have to prepare 2 speeches for school. As I open source everything, I've decided to open source this too. Enjoy, I guess. What do you mean open source? What do you mean open sourcing a speech? Isn't that just like... I think you call that putting your speech into the public domain or something, right? You don't call it like open source. Anyway, it says here... Freaking... Actually, you know what? I think some of these pages are not really compatible with the way I shrunk Mozilla here, so I think I'm gonna expand this a little bit and get rid of my VSCode here for a second. Anyway, let me just select Citra, move this around here, and shrink it a little bit down like that. Okay. Anyway, oh, and also should probably move myself to the side here. Alright, guys, I'll make this real quick before I move on to my freaking coding part of the stream. George Orwell, Animal Farm. I'm a 10th grader, and this week I have to prepare 2 speeches for school. As I open source everything, I've decided to open source this too. Enjoy, I guess. Well, if you guys are are required to maybe do a book review of Animal Farm, I guess this is it. He gave us the thumbs up, so you know don't expect any copyright from him anytime soon. By the way, I like that this is created just last year. I would have thought that anything in the freaking Wibby search engine would be made around the 1990s or something, but here we are with a sort of modern blog post over here. The 10th grader figure is important in this case, as note that this may not be the highest quality speech. It's high school level, if that even. Well, even if you're not, you know, even if your speech could be cringy, I don't think it's really a good idea to call yourself out in terms of what your age range would be, because people are going to bully you online if you do so. I left out the Lithuanian translation out of here, as translation from this should be easy enough for people using this work. I don't want to include it, as I don't want this post to be huge with competitive information. For educational purposes only, you are free to use this speech if you ever do under CCO. No rights reserved. You know, speaking of copyright, I think I've dug a little bit deeper into how fair use works in my side of the world, aka the Philippines, and I noticed that if you're going to be using anything for educational purposes only, copyright work for educational purposes only, you are supposed to to actually get rid of your work once a full year comes by, because that's just how, I guess, fair use works in this country. I'm not a lawyer. I just found this random article online that gives a very detailed description of what's the rules and regulations around fair use in the Philippines. And I noticed that if you let a copyright piece of work intended for educational purposes only stay on the stay in the public domain for longer than one school year, it would suddenly be out of the fair use policies here, and you're now under the subject of copyright infringement in this side of the world. So it's, it's kind of sucks that that's the way it is, but I guess that's how it works in this country. It's a good thing that I don't really use any copyright work in my videos. I mean, technically I only have my parodies and stuff, but I think my parodies are differentiated enough to be unrecognizable from the original source material. But hey, that's just copyright, I guess. For any other purposes than education, you shall follow the licensing provided on this page, footer, and metadata. Okay, let's see as the speech. Dear people, today I stand here to not just talk about a book, rather to explore philosophy, symbolism, and societal commentary scattered around its pages. Hold on. Book in focus is The Infamous Animal Farm by the influential English writer George Orwell. Before we dive into the book, I'd like to take a moment to present the author of this book. George Orwell, born on 25th of June 1903, as Eric Arthur Blair, he later adopted his writer's name as we know it today, George Orwell. Orwell was an English novelist, essayist, journalist, and critic. His works are characterized by clarity, awareness of social injustice, opposition to totalitarianism. He is an outspoken port of democratic socialism. His masterpieces portray power as a keen eye for effects of poverty, a theme which echoes throughout his books, from his first book called Down and Out in Paris and London, published in 1933. Okay, I get it, man. George Orwell is, is a very outspoken person. I mean, come on, have you seen any freaking video essays in 1984? Animal Farm is among the most celebrated of Orwell's creations. Animal Farm is a unique blend of political satire, dystopian fiction, and allegorical storytelling. It was published on August 17th of 1945, at a time where the world was still devastated by effects of World War II. Throughout the book, he managed to expose and criticize the corruption and brutal totalitarianism that come with absolute political power. Animal Farm is a clever novel which uses animals to allegorically express a storyline to create a unique utopian society which slowly becomes a dystopian reality. Unlike Black Mirror, I guess. It begins good, but then slowly deteriorates into a harsh, corrupt, and bitter state of governance, depicting a bitter reality of many political systems. Now, am I facing correctly here in this? Okay, good. The animals in the book do not merely represent themselves, but rather each has its real-world political history. It becomes clearer and clearer as you read into the very clear allegory that Orwell created in the storyline. The pigs, who present the leaders of the rebellion, represent those who are in charge. The politicians. It's very clear, in my opinion, how the pigs are represented as the government, as pigs are known as this dirty and gross animal in many cultures. I could have sworn I've seen an animated film based on pigs being represented as I know, some of the corrupted figures here in our time. I forgot who made it. I think it was some indie animation group called Ego or something. I'm not sure, but I remember it was like this sort of 2.5D style film, or like maybe like a 3D CGI film with toon shaders applied to each of the models, and it talks of a bunch of pigs eating at a table, wherein they're like munching down a lot of these food and stuff, while what was it, like a bunch of like this butcher uh brings out all these food, and then at the bottom of the table were these cats that try to get the food on top of the table, but the pigs are like, nah, get out of here. And so these family of pigs around the table are just eating and eating all these food and stuff, and then it came to a point where the pigs ran out of food. Like the butcher who was in charge of bringing them, or I guess the chef who's in charge of bringing them all the food, just stopped bringing all these food. And by the way, this food comes from the house that they are staying in, because the way the chef makes the food is that he takes all of the furniture and stuff around the house and puts it into a machine that converts all the furnishings and things around the house into food. But then as soon as there's no more stuff in the house to convert into food, the chef cannot like make any food. So the pigs get angry and stuff, and they started like fighting each other to the death. And meanwhile, these cats are still freaking hungry. So what happens next is that after the pigs, I don't know if I might be remembering it wrong, but after the pigs kill themselves, the cats turn themselves into a wolf, or I think some kind of tiger, I think, and the tiger started killing every remaining pig in the table. And I think that's like a allegory for rebellion or something. So once the tiger or the wolf got rid of all the pigs, the freaking, I think the chef pulls out a tranquilizer gun and shoots the big tiger to sleep. And the tiger then turns back into kittens or cats. So then what happened is that the chef brings some of the cats onto another table with a fresh batch of food, and then these cats now turn into pigs for themselves. And it's like, I guess, an allegory that once you finally rise up to the top, you would then become the pigs that you've so desperately hated for the majority of your life. And it's an interesting short film that I've watched, because it sort of gives me a new perspective of where these corrupted figures in our society come from. They could come from the very top, or they can even come from the very bottom of the ladder at some points. sorry for making my freaking live stream here a commentary on social injustices, but I guess that's really what happens when you talk about Animal Farm here. But anyway, let me see. There is really not much I can say here. Oh, he even made an outline of how he should like make the what's it called? The speech. He broke it down to a greeting, then an intro, an offer, Animal Farm. I feel like if we're going to make an intro, just hit the audience with a very existential question, like, guys, what if we are the pigs, or the corrupted figures that we come to so hate in our society? And then hit them with and that's exactly what George Orwell's animal form teaches us. You know, because I feel like I'm looking at your speech here, and I think it's a little bit too boring of a speech to start off with. I think you really need to hit them off with that clickbaity intro. You know, well, I think we call it more so a hook sentence. But yeah, basically you need to have a very good hook to start off your speech, so people can listen to the rest of the boring stuff here in this outline. But other than that, I really like your speech here. It's like the fonts that you use for this page. What font? What font is this? Hold on. Let me search up fonts here in Google. Let's see, CSS fonts. It has to be like some font that I can get just from the default. From the default CSS, right? Or maybe it's Courier. Maybe it's Courier. I do like the look of Courier right now. Probably change some of my stuff into Courier from here on. But anyway, I guess that's it for this homepage, for this blog. Are there any other stuff here that I can look into? Wow, he really puts his... really numbers his blog posts here. Open PGP key. Ooh, a vegan pancake recipe. What is this? I realize I've never shared my pancake recipe on here as I'm making pancakes today. Why not share it? I thought to myself. So here's a really basic vegan pancake recipe that's never failed me. 1 cup flour, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1/4 tablespoon salt, a teaspoon salt. Okay. Thank you for sharing milk. Milk. You're advertising this as a vegan pancake recipe, and you're putting in milk. I think milk is not... Is that part of the vegan diet? I think that's like really edging it in terms of what the vegan would tolerate as food they will eat. Because aren't they like very not into taking advantage of the resources provided by animals and stuff? Like, even if you're not like killing animals with this, you're still like exploiting their resources by getting their own milk. Oh wait, no, it's oat milk. Never mind. Okay, this can fly. Now combine your batter, add in all your dry ingredients, add in wet ingredients. Okay. Then cook it. Alright. Obviously don't add egg here. Would that affect the recipe somewhat? Anyway, it's a pretty good looking recipe. I kind of like the simplicity of this one blog. Maybe I can turn my blog section here into just, I don't know, maybe separate web pages, but I think that would require a lot of storage on NeoCity's part to happen. Anyway, what else is here? 1 million. You have a lot of ChatGPT fun. Oh no, what is this? What's his opinion on AI? I want to see. Today I got access to ChatGPT through their API using a friend's API key, played around and found it very interesting. It was fun, it's okay-ish at generating code, it's far from what people say. It's amazing at writing pretty stories and shit, it's nice, we'll be using it in the future. It's nice to toy around with, but it does have a filter, so it wouldn't be me if I didn't try to break shit. So I did. I made the filter go away and make ChatGPT go into full submission. Okay, well, I don't really like your... I disagree maybe with your your take on what ChatGPT is, but I can sort of tell that you're sort of frustrated by the fact that ChatGPT does an okayish job at generating code. I think you can just I think in terms of ChatGPT, you could just boil down its generated prompts to being just okay. You know, it's very passable. It doesn't really accept, upset people. It doesn't like wow people either. It's just, generated code, and generated code is just boring, passable stuff that may pass you in a test, but in the end, it just sort of like just lacks personality in my opinion, and doesn't really dig deep into the prompts that you give it. So that's why I'm not really a big fan of ChatGPT or AI in general. And don't get me started with the freaking community around AI. The AI community is just dog water. you know. Anyway, okay. I think this is it for the exploring the websites of other people and stuff. We can now move on to doing some coding here on my website. So let's just do that, shall we? Let me just put this here and pull up my Visual Studio Code here. Anyway, enough about other people. I want to talk about myself now. Right now, through code. Here we go. All right. So, let's just start off with something simple. I want to create a blog post here in my website. So let's just jump into that. But before I do so, I want to maybe play around with some of the features here in... Actually, wait, hold on. Maybe I should change the background here because I feel like the pad paper design of the background here feels very low quality. So I'll change it into maybe a sleek black background. Let's see. Let's go to my blog.html. And let me just look at the ID for these paragraphs. Well, actually, more so my ID for my div element here. Where is my div? Is it media note? That can't be it. Wait. Oh no, that's the... Oh, wait, here it is, art page. I'm gonna turn this art page into just a black background here. Where is the art page? Oh, style 2. I need to go to art page here. And I'll just change this to background color. Let's go with black. Black will do. I am noticing why I made this. Hold on. Background. Actually, wait. Let's go with a low opacity, maybe. Maybe we'll go with white. Something about this doesn't look right. uh, Maybe just get rid of the opacity, maybe. I'll put a gradient here, background. Blend mode? Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. What if I... Wait, what's the media tastes here? Yeah, art spacing, art images. Maybe if I just... Oh, I'll try to use the background image here, but this time... There's something I did here that made it so that my paper extends all the way down. Likes, dislikes section. Here we go. We'll see. Control V. It's this one? Nope. Ah, here we go. Okay. Next. Okay, that's good. It's good stuff. Then I want to... Guys, let me just play around with the HTML and CSS stuff here. Blog date. Let's see. Where is blog dates? There it is. And wait, no. Okay. Font. I change the font here again. Okay, let's back to HTML here. Where's the about me text? Okay, about me text. Right. Oh, it's just color. Okay. Now it kind of sucks. Let me get card wheel here. I sort of. No, I think I'll keep it black. Keep this at some shade of white, I guess. And let's maybe drag down the opacity of it, like to half. Okay, I think that's it for this blog post here. Anyway, let's now go ahead and write some shit here in the blog. Where can we start off here? Okay. Recent blog posts. PID. Anyway, it's gonna be a good time for me to share what I've been doing since I've been back. ID blog dates. B Feb. Oh no, it's May. Wow. I haven't been writing something in this blog in a while. May 13, 2025. CAD cam biking and what are some other eventful things since the last time I posted here? I guess there was also the Metroid animation I posted a while back. Oh yeah, research. I think I forgot I just did a research paper this past few weeks. Okay. May 14, 2025. CAD cam, biking, and research. Okay. ID equals blog date. Okay. In this I noticed I started off my 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 blog post, my last blog post with I'm having a gaming addiction with the Bokujo Monogatari series, aka Harvest Moon, but since the last time I posted here in this blog, I am here to announce now that I'm just realizing that just 3 months ago I went to this spot here in where is this again? In Makati. That's just like this American inspired diner. Dang, that was 3 months ago? Wow, it felt like a long time ago. No, it was just this happened in the same year as when I'm making this post right now, that I am now officially not addicted to Harvest Moon. I'm still going to be making a freaking animation of this at some point, but I don't know. I guess the same. I'll be making a Harvest Moon parody the same way any other animator would make a Pokemon animated parody, you know. Like they can make it, but it doesn't mean that they would love it. And I still kind of enjoy the farming simulator genre of video games. It's just like the Harvest Moon. I feel like Harvest Moon just played it too safe and just did the same things over and over again when it comes to the games around this series of games. You know, or maybe I'm just too used to the farming simulator genre by now. Okay, so I'm still going to be making an HM parody animation at some point, but I'll probably make fun of it while making the script for it. Lol. Okay. Anyway, what's my new addiction right now? My new addiction in this time of year is learning about computer aided design and manufacturing. Manufacturing, specifically. You know, now that I've moved on from my Harvest Moon video game addiction, maybe I can maybe make a highlight reel, because I made 4 VODs about Harvest Moon: A Tale of Two Towns. I can maybe make a highlight video on it at some point and post it on my main channel, just to give you guys some variety in this vanilla log channel. Addiction in this time of year is learning about computer aided design manufacturing, specifically. Sorry, you get the semicolon. Hold on, let me pull out the semicolon, guys. That's how you know that I'm really dedicated to writing a blog post. Specifically studying about 3D printing. in dentistry and its associated softwares. Programs and software. Yep, this is not my new addiction. It's how you this the transition, alright, with my interests. It's was first Blender. I mean, it is still Blender, but you know, we got Blender was my first interest. Then it moved on to freaking, I don't know, making music, and then from music I somehow got into the habit of learning how to learn JavaScript. Like, yeah, that's definitely a good transition from music, right? And now after learning about JavaScript, I wanted to learn more about farming simulator games for some reason. And then from farming simulator games, I am now in the interest of learning about computer aided design in dentistry. Like, what a wild ride is is my interest right now. That's definitely not how one would go about learning about what's fun about different aspects of things. It only came about when I did a project in school wherein I made a presentation, actually more so group presentation about (3D) printing resin in dentistry. We printed computer in dental CAD. I was already in a dentistry course, and my father introduced me to CAD way before, but I wasn't technically having fun studying it because information about it was pretty scarce, and I was a brat for that did not like learning new things. Okay, since the last time I posted here in this blog, I'm here to announce now that I'm now officially not addicted to Harvest Moon. I'm still going to be making HM parody animation at some point, but I'll probably make fun of it while making the script for it, lol. Anyway, my addiction in this time of year is learning about computer-aided design and manufacturing, specifically studying about 3D printing in dentistry and its associated programs and software. Where is it? And software. It only came about when I did a project in school wherein I made a group presentation about... Hold on, I'm just noticing that I'm not centered here. There we go. I'm just gonna put myself way down here. Maybe I'll put my little bit of my body up here. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll move it up here just to show you guys what I've written so far. It only came about when I did a project in school wherein I made a group presentation about 3D printing resin in dental CAD. I was already in a dentistry course, and my father introduced me to CAD way before, but I wasn't technically having fun studying it because the information about it was pretty scarce, and I was a brat that didn't like learning new things. Fast forward to today. today, and I am now responsible for carrying a group report. That group report in which I voluntarily proposed the topic to all of my 4 members. Fast forward today, and I'm now responsible for carrying a group project report in which I voluntarily proposed the topic to all of my 4 members that did not know anything about CAD or even 3D printing. So I had to do all of the research research script and presentation, PowerPoint design on my own. So I had to do all the research, script, and PowerPoint design on my own. It was confusing at first, getting to learn the basics of 3D printing again, but once I got deeper into the subject, I began to have fun teaching myself this modern workflow. Began to have fun teaching myself this modern work. I guess back then I was scared by the user interfaces of the different CAD programs out there, like Blue Sky, Bio, CAD programs out there like Blue Sky, Bio. But once I but now that I've experienced more complicated workflows, like building a website with JavaScript code, I can now see that Dental CAD is just a walk in the park. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I'm now more scarred in learning about JavaScript, that it sort of overwrote my my confusion with dental CAD. But yeah, basically I just compared my experience between learning coding and learning about something as simple as the Blue Sky Bio program, which is a dental CAD software that makes dentures and surgical guides in dentistry. And I thought to myself, wow, this is, now that I'm thinking about it, Blue Sky Bio, learning about Blue Sky Bio is much easier than whatever the frick I'm doing right now, which is frickin' coding. So that's why I pretty much just jumped into the subject anyway. But anyway, it's a walk in the park. So after I presented my report to the entire class, people, my classmates, friends and classmates were interested in the many things I know about this complicated subject. When I finally completed my report, I got questions from starry-eyed colleagues asking me more about how the dental CAD workflow works, and I happily answered all of them. I enjoyed teaching them about it, and but I was also inspired by their curiosity and drive. Know something lie in the past. The past would disregard as nothing more than a fad. So as a with a newfound passion to teach people this skill that they may need in the future, I went about and learned more about CAD/CAM I looked into the latest 3D printers, resins that may be biocompatible within the oral cavity, and reviewed Blue Sky Bio's website to learn more about their software's modules. I'm going to be okay, it's gonna be an announcement. I'm going to be live streaming myself learning about Blue Sky Bio's features. So if you are in the medical field and want to learn how you can incorporate (3D) printing into your workflow, I suggest going to my YouTube channel. Hold on. Yep. Okay, there's gonna be an announcement for you guys who are watching. I'm gonna be doing something new in this channel, and it's not just gonna be another Harvest Moon freaking Let's Play or any Let's Play series, because I'm pretty much done with trying to cater to the gaming audience here on YouTube. I want to try and do more stuff. I want to explore more softwares that I can, you know, showcase to you guys in this channel, and I want to start off by maybe sharing with you guys my skills in dental CAD at some point. And I want to try to do a series of live streams where I just play around with Blue Sky Bio and make some dentures and how do I say this? Dentures and surgical guides and study models with teeth provided publicly online. Of course, I'm not gonna be touching any people's teeth. If I'm gonna be working with teeth, it has to be something that's voluntarily given to me by someone who is either, you know, in the dental profession, or actually yeah, just maybe it's just anyone who's provided by either provided publicly online or something that's provided by a dental professional. So I want to do that more here in this channel, just do some dental related stuff. And I even have like a freaking presentation saved up here in my Google Drive that talks about the computer aided design and manufacturing here in dentistry. So I also want to show you guys that, and maybe give my own insights on what I think the dental CAD workflow works. And I'm not gonna say that I'll be right all the time here. Of course, I'm approaching this as a dental student, so I want these series of live streams to be more so a way for me to interact with people who are maybe more knowledgeable in the subject. So if you guys are either dental professionals or dental students, I encourage you to, you know, to have a long form discussion here with me on YouTube, on the chat here as well, so that we can, you know, learn more about dental CAD workflow, and maybe we can improve it with the skills that we have here along the way. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do here. Of course, I'm still gonna be doing my coding and Blender's live stream, Blender live streams here. It's just that, you know, I want to try to branch out to more stuff that I can do here in the middle log, like helping medical professionals with learning about new technologies in the future. So that's gonna be that. But anyway, let's continue on with this blog post because I think I'm not done with this one yet. Let me make another ID equals blog date. Aside from that, I've also been struggling with math. Oh no. So when I was in school, let me just add a period G here. So when I was in school, my teacher, biostatistics teacher, had us do a sort of mini research paper with a group. This group was different from my CAD report group. But they are just as unresponsive. Actually not. But no, actually they're helpful. I was about to say that they're useless, but I think they are also helpful as well. They did, you know, help in making the significance of the study, the statement of the problem. They even provided the discussion part, and they're working also on the results of the study with an asterisk, I would say. And the reason why I'm adding an asterisk there is because, my God, they got these in for the one thing that I want this group to help me on, they just couldn't. So if you guys don't know, in this sort of mini research paper, the data and the survey results are already provided by us by our teacher. We just had to sort of do the maths and sort of try to quantify if one variable is somehow correlated with another variable. I can't really get into it without getting you guys confused, but it involves us learning about the Pearson-R formula, which is a very complicated series of equations that we need to do. And it's sort of hard considering that we also have to take into account the fact that, oh, what's this? Just got done with my coding live stream. Also, I remember you, lol. Hey, you also do coding live streams as well. Nice. But anyway, I'm talking about the Pearson-R formula, which is this freaking formula I'm trying to get into for my research paper on biostatistics. You know, it's all math and shit, and it freaking sucks considering that I have to apply that formula to 120 respondents with their own raw results. and what the frick happened was I was waiting for someone to try and do the calculations for the Pearson-R formula, and no one was doing it, and I was like, what the fuck? And I thought that the guy who was in charge of the results section of my research paper would do it, but the guy is very slow, and by the time we got to the deadline, which is today, the guy still hasn't done the calculation, so I pretty much did the Thanos route, and I said, fine, I'll do it myself. And just did all the calculations in freaking Google Sheets. By the way, did I mention that I'm not good at math? So every time I try to, you know, do the calculations, I thought to myself, wait, did I do this right? Did I subtract 1 minus r correctly, or did I take the sum of another freaking variable to this whole equation? Like, I don't know, I'm pretty dyslexic when it comes to, you know, doing math equations. If you just tell me to just do a speech or, you know, make a presentation, I'm fine with doing that. Even if I have to do a lot of research, it's just that when math gets involved, I get pretty I get pretty lost in all the numbers and shit. But anyway, I did all of these math, and by the time I was done, I was just so I just had this very mild migraine because of how much numbers I had to put into my head and calculate. It pretty much sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to coding here. Let's see. So when I was in school, my biostatistics teacher had us do sort of mini research with the group. This group was a different, but they are cooperative as well. Cooperative enough to they're cooperative enough to fill out the related literature, the review of related literature, the abstract, the discussion, and the methodology. No, I was in charge of methodology. That's not what they did. The introduction to our paper. However, when it came down to calculating, analyzing, and calculating, I think I'll just simplify my story here in this blog post because I don't think anyone here would understand the Pearson R formula. Calculating the results, no one was willing to take the plunder. There was technically someone in charge of writing the results section of our academic paper, but the guy wasn't posting any of his calculations. When it finally reached the deadline, no one still hasn't done the maths. So I took it upon myself to record each one of the 120 respondents' raw results calculate them via this formula given to me by my professor to measure correlation between two variables. I had to do this twice. Because of how data there was, but eventually I got answers that my group desperately needs. However, when when reviewing the results, I realized that I made an error. So to substantiate my paranoia, upon fixing it, which took a long time, a thought crossed my mind. What if I got the other calculations wrong? To substantiate my paranoia, I did the calculations twice more while reviewing the data sets that I inputted. I just got done finishing it. This morning. And I dropped to my bed before, while trying to ignore the fear that maybe I still have some mismatched answers in Excel sheet. Okay, here we go. That's a freaking long-winded rant. Okay. Well, what else can we add here? Biking? I said biking here as well. I guess we can also talk about biking. We can talk about biking. I don't know, let's not talk about biking. Let's talk about the Kangas province. There we go. Anyway, once I was done with all of my schoolwork in my dental course, I had a long summer break ahead of me. To start off my vacation, I went to a resort in Batangas. It's not actually a resort, but a mini resort. Wherein my family celebrated one of, I was gonna say grandma, but I think there's something charming about calling your grandmother, your Filipino grandmother, a lola. So let's call it lola. One of my lolas. Should be no. I'll give it a low L for this one. Lolas. Oh, what the heck? We had a pretty big buffet, which is a practice for every Filipino celebration. And I made I got sick learning trying to know more. Got sick trying to eat, and my mind is not going like autopilot on me. by making up words that may not make sense here in this this website of mine. Empanadas. Provided by the waiters. I felt horrible eating all of this food. So the next day, I woke up early in the morning and ran 10 kilometers. It has been a week since I ran or even exercised, but for some reason long gap did not prevent my body from performing well. Usually after a week, actually no, I get grog. So I thought that this is what I needed. However, fast forward to today and I am limping a little bit and having trouble getting up to bed. Because my muscles are a little bit sore. But I'm still planning to exercise later today, guys. I mean, I'm not forcing myself to run. I am, making sure that I'm giving my muscles enough time to rest before I do anything hard. But yeah, I'm thinking of later today I'm gonna be running another 10 kilometers around town, just to get some sunlight, touch grass and stuff like that. I can't just be sitting in my desk all day writing blog posts and shit. By the way, did I tell you guys that I rearranged my freaking room? My room is now like because before I used to have like a quote-unquote standing desk for my computer, which it's basically just a white block of a table that I've sort of used as my quote-unquote standing table for my computer. But I came to realize that the white table that I used as a standing desk wasn't really ergonomically viable for me, because this table is actually more so like something you would put like a vase on top of, because unlike a table that has like 4 legs, this white table is basically just a big block. So there's not really any space for my legs to go underneath something. So whenever I want to, like, say, just sit down on my standing desk, like, even though I have this high seat for me to sit on, there's like no room for my legs to go underneath something. So I usually have to like lean forward to reach for my keyboard and mouse whenever I have to whenever I want to, just whenever I choose to sit down on this standing desk. So as a consequence, I decided a few days ago that I would rearrange my setup once again, so that I'm now using the old brown desk that I used to live stream and record my stuff here in my computer. It's and I kind of wish I have a standing desk, but I know that if I'm gonna be using this white standing desk, I really had to commit to the fact that I would be standing on it every time I use the computer. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really think I'm really committed to that standing lifestyle. I sometimes want to sit down whenever I work on stuff on my computer, especially after like a long workout and I want to rest while still working on stuff in my computer. I want to try and do some stuff here on my computer while sitting down efficiently. So that's why I'm here in my freaking brown desk now instead of my white desk. Anyway, okay, so that's it, I guess, for my blog here. I think I should relax my muscles. Should take a long. I should go easy on the workouts first before I continue making more projects. If I continue running long distances. Lol. Okay. Is there anything else I want to include here? No, I think this is good. Alright, before I continue with this blog post, I wanna maybe do a little bit of a I don't know, I guess a rant I don't want to include here in this blog post here. I recently met with someone, I think just like a few days ago. He was like, I think, a close friend of mine that just wants to, actually no, a close relative of mine that I wanna just go ahead and visit. I haven't really seen him in a long time. But I just had to go and shrink there for a second. I haven't seen this relative for a long time, mostly because there is some animosity between some of my family members with this person, and I decided that, hey, I wanna visit this family member for the first time, for a long time, after a long time, I mean, because I haven't talked to them, and I wanna just go meet up, have a chat. I don't have any grudges with him. It's just with other family members. So I thought that, hey, I wanna try and meet up with this one person on my that I haven't seen in a long time. So he sort of like gave me an invite, and I happily agreed to meet him up at a place. And at first I was expecting that we would just happily chat and talk about stuff while having a very good time. But when I finally got to where he is meeting up, all we just talked about was, well, the first thing we talked about was freaking business and shit. Like he started talking about how he would go ahead and expand his business. He's thinking of expanding his business to different branches. I don't want to get into what I'm about to say, but my family member was just talking about how he wants me to help him out in helping him start off this business. And he's sort of saying that he could like I could be of viable importance in him to him by, you know, expanding his business and shit. And what I was basically in charge of was just helping him, you know, learn about these softwares I'm actually learning right now here on my YouTube channel. And I don't know, I just felt I didn't really say anything to him at the time, but I don't know, I guess I was just kind of bummed out. I mean we did talk about families and shit, but whenever we talked about family, he was always just talking shit to the family members that he hates. And I don't know, it's just I just thought that it was depressing really, talking to this person that I thought that was going I thought we were going to have like a very fun time with this one person with this one relative of mine, but he just didn't like to talk about those things. And I know I thought that we will talk about, we would you know, have fun, but I didn't have fun at all. We just like visited a empty space in this place called BGC, and he's planning on like putting up a branch of his business there. I'm just going to say that his business like a bakery, just to keep this guy anonymous. But yeah, he's picking up like maybe he's putting up like a quote unquote bakery business, wink wink, to in this place in BGC. And you know, we ate. Of course we did eat some stuff. We went to like a Korean style restaurant. We had like it's Korean grill. Where we cook our own like meats and stuff that we order. But we didn't really talk about stuff there. We just ate quietly. I don't know, I tried to maybe lighten up the conversation, saying, "Hey, this meat tastes good." That's what I was trying to say in front of this one relative, but the conversation somehow stirs back to just talking about this new branch he's planning to put up for his quote-unquote bakery business. And it's depressing. It's kind of depressing, really, that my whole day was just spent on him talking about business and not anything, you know, fun or exciting or, you know, maybe family oriented. That's not all about hating one another. I don't know, it sucks. Really. And I guess that's all I have to say about it. Let's get back to coding, guys. Let's go. Sorry, I gotta have to. I just need to let that out somewhere while still keeping it personal to me. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it all. Because I know this is the internet and I don't want to put my personal information here in the web. But you know, I just wanna point it out. That's the reason why I'm sort of a little bit bummed today, and I wanted to stream. I thought that streaming would help me out with this specific problem I have, but hey, you know, I think it's getting better. I'm getting better. My mood is getting better, I mean. Anyway, I'll go back to media reviews here. I want to review Cobra Kai. Let's see. Let's do media review. Okay. And then after this, I can maybe make the image slideshow on my art page. Okay, Cobra Kai. This is a fever dream come to life. I enjoyed this film, but for different reasons. It was such a weird watch that I had to ask myself if it was a real movie at all. It all centers around a steampunk setting wherein Jack the Ripper exists for some reason. Oh, wait, no, this one. Anyway, let's talk about Cobra Kai. We can talk about Cobra Kai. I guess we can start off with my history with the Karate Kid series. I was not a big fan of Cobra Kai before the Karate Kid series. Before I got into Cobra Kai. I remembered loving the story in the Karate Kid remake with Jackie Chan, but nothing about it really left a lasting impression, mostly due not a lasting impression mostly due to the fact that it was a movie only lasted for around 3 hours. So when I heard of Cobra Kai, I thought that wasn't exactly excited to see it. I just thought, wow, a Karate Kid? A series of the Karate Kid movies? That's neat. But when I finally sat down and watched the entire series, I was livid. There were so many impressive action scenes. Involving karate, and there were series like others managed to give us new characters that even more interesting than the legacy characters like Daniel Miguel, Robbie, even who's the Hawk? And Samantha. Why am I forgetting the rival? Though. Why am I forgetting Samantha's rival for some reason? I think she's like the most interesting of the two. That's actually pretty good. Tori. I think Tori is the more interesting. Like if I'm gonna put a what's it called, a Mount Rushmore of who I think are the most interesting characters in Cobra Kai, it would be Miguel. I don't think Robbie's here. Yeah, but yeah, I'll put Robbie here because he's one of the more interesting of the new characters that they introduced here in Cobra Kai. So there's Miguel. Of course, there's Johnny. Johnny Lawrence, I think, is had the most character development in the series. So in my Mount Rushmore of the most interesting Cobra Kai characters, it would be Miguel, freaking Johnny Lawrence, Hawk. Hawk, I think, is a good character. I always go back to rewatching his fight scene with Robbie in the season 4 finale, because I thought that was when Hawk really turned into the most interesting character in Cobra Kai. And Tori, of course, is God. I somehow feel sad throughout the character arc of Tori, because you always see her depressed whenever you see a shot of Tori in her apartment with his dying mom. And it's so satisfying to see her finally get an actual win when she defeated that Iron Dragon girl in the season 6 finale. But yeah, Tori, Hawk, Miguel, and Johnny is like the Mount Rushmore of interesting characters in Cobra Kai. But since we're talking about the new characters, I think Robbie is close to there. Now the only question is if the Cobra Kai characters that are introduced in the series would move on to the new movie that's coming out called Karate Kid Legends, starring Jackie Chan once again. Because it'd be a shame if they just turn this entire series into a non-canon event that's separate from the Karate Kid movies. Because the whole Miguel storyline is, you know, pretty cool. It'd be fun to see, you know, the new Karate Kid go up against this, you know, this new batch of characters. You know, it could save up on them trying to world build a new enemy for this new Karate Kid. And it'd be fun times all around for the writing team of the Karate Kid. Wait. Tori is. This does not feel like a cash grab project that is heavily reliant on nostalgia. There is a really good redemption story about a washed up trying to get slide back again after a devastating loss from Daniel LaRusso in the 80s. You actually see him progress little by little until he feels like a more mature and different character by the end. What else can I say here? While doing so, he builds up a bunch of kids in the same situation as him, lacking any drive to face the bullies and problems they encounter in their own lives. In a way, seeing these old and new characters always feels heartwarming. I especially remember that one scene in season 1 wherein both Miguel and Johnny finally accomplished some kind of victory in their own lives. It was very satisfying. That feel. Something they fought they couldn't get in their own lifetimes. I am giving the series how did I do it in the other one? Here it is. I am giving the series a strong recommendation. This series a strong recommendation. There we go. There we go. I think that's my review of Cobra Kai. It's pretty simple, pretty direct. I mean, you know, it's pretty much just, in the end, a bunch of karate senseis having beef with one another, but it's just the little things like, I don't know, Johnny finally, you know, starting a family, building up his relationship with Bobby Keane, and you know, freaking anything related to Johnny just achieving small victories in his life that's outside of karate just really gives me a sort of warm feeling in my heart. So that's why I'm putting Cobra Kai in my strong recommendation category. But anyway, I guess now that we're done here, we can now move on to talking about, you know, I wanna try to edit up this art page here because this page desperately needs some some changes. Let's start off by including a bunch of our art page, media review, media cell, new art. Here it is. Okay, I'm just going to do this page. See, wait, no, I'll put it down here, and then let's get the image slideshow here. Control C. Okay. I need to copy some freaking stuff here. Graded image. Control C. Image slideshow IDs. Okay, there we go. Okay, why is this not censored? Okay. This is a problem. This ain't supposed to be in this side. Hmm. Let's see. New art. Hashtag image. Hashtag slideshow. Content line content. Background color aqua? No. This is bad. Okay, let's get rid of the freaking background color here. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if okay. Isn't like. Wait. Hmm. Okay, maybe I'll just move the cursor manually, I guess. 30% generated image. Okay. Alright, I might have to do some digging here. There we go. Okay, so let's go to new art. Div ID equals art underscore pictures. Generated image. Create script here. All right. Hmm. When we get to these smaller pictures, that gets wacky. I have to know more about functions here. Anyway. Shit. Alright. Yeah, I might need to learn more about JavaScript here before I can actually implement my image slideshow, because there's one problem here that I cannot fix, which is getting this image to... Or what if we could... See, wait, hold on. Let me just see what the... How does people make an image slideshow? In JavaScript. Let's see this. Div class slideshow container. My slides fade. Okay, get rid of the CSS for this one. Show slide index. Oh, create a div element for each of it. So what they're doing? That's I. Slides equals document.get element. Okay. All right. Let me try it myself. Let's see. Okay. This is the style. What is this? This is the HTML. This is the head, and this is the functions here. At slides, show slides. At slides equals 1. Okay. I'm getting a bit confused here. Quick. Hey, what is dots? Oh, it's a class. Okay. Style.display none equals none. But I'm so confused. How are they doing this? Caption 2. Okay. This is responsible for the arrows. And when they're in a class, does that mean that they... If class I equals 0, I is less than slides dot length I plus plus. What does N mean here? Show slides. Okay, N is the subparameter they added here. Slide index is 1, okay. So 1 is less than slides.length. Okay. I'm trying to work out how this freaking CSS works here. How the JavaScript here works. Slides i.style.display equals none. Is a none a thing here? No, it must be just a keyword in JavaScript or something. Active, what? Alright. I think I'm gonna let my brain rest for now, guys. I am not getting any of these JavaScript shit for some reason. So I think instead of working on this, I want to try something different. Alright. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna pull up my freaking editor over here. Okay, wait, let's pull up Krita. Let's pull up Krita. Because I want to start a project here in Visual Studio. And that involves me making a game. Hold on, guys. Alright. Okay, so this is a project that I've been working on in the back of my head. Hold on. We'll work on the image slideshow another time, guys. I apologize if this ain't but if this project really wasted this live stream's time, but I want to try something else right now, which is I want to make a bunch of game assets for an upcoming game I want to try to do in the future. And that involves me making some game assets in Krita, so hold on. Let's switch to another scene here. There we go. Alright, we're back in the good old Magician's Chamber here. And I want to open up... Let's put up Krita here. Here we go. Over here. There we go. I hope this is good enough. Okay. So I want to open up Krita here because I just want to make some game assets, some pixel art game assets for a game I want to try and create using JavaScript. It ain't gonna be something too complicated. I just want something that's very simple. Very... I would say very simple to program. I'm thinking of like maybe like some kind of, because if you watch my coding stream from before, I mean my coding video from before, I showcased you guys a sort of farming sort of mini game in Harvest Moon that I want to try to recreate using JavaScript. I think I already understand how JavaScript works to a point. I can make something as simple as that farming game I showcased you guys on my coding video. So I want to try to make that, but before we do so, I want to make some assets. So let's make a new image here. No, don't go live. 240 by 256. Sure, why not? Let's go with that. No, that's not what I want. Okay, if I'm gonna do this correctly, I want to know how many pixels I want to make my backgrounds. We can go 1, 2. Maybe 100. 100 by 100 would work. I'm trying to measure how things would work. Maybe 200 would actually be much more efficient. Yeah, I think I'll do this. Then we'll try to just shrink everything down to a T here. Give me something more pixelated, like this ain't gonna jive with me. I want to view, show guides, and show grid. Okay. Show grid and I also don't want any fall offs. Ah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, can I edit the grid here? Show full screen mode? No, I want guides to actually give me. Let's see. Display. General. Window. Tabs. I'm gonna go back to freaking here. How to change grid in Grida. Written guides dockers? Oh, okay. By 10, there we go. Alright, let's make some assets here, guys. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Okay, so everything here seems to be working as smoothly. Okay, let's try to make a simple farmer sprite, or actually let's try to differentiate from Harvest Moon. I wanna try to make Helibird. This little helicopter character I made in Blender before. Do this, then whoop. I think I might need to make it 20 by 20, I think. Let's do 20 by 20 instead. There we go. I do have a better image of how this should look. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay. You can try to color it with some images here. All right. Okay, there we go. I forget any colors of Halibird. I think it's like green for his wings. Something like that. And then his freaking thing here is propeller. No, it's purple, I think. There we go. Just fix up the color of his. Hmm. Okay. I need to design an enemy for this person. Maybe go for a car, maybe? Yeah, let's go with a car. A bit like design like this. Right. Dang, that doesn't look like it looks more like a car. It's more like a gumball machine than a car that would drive around. Anyway, I mean that's our enemy sprite. Like a little bit more detail to this one character here. There we go. This is Helibird. I think I might need to edit a little bit of his freaking sprite here to make it look much more sensible. But I want to make 100. I need 70 of these. 20 more pixels along this area. Properties. Resize canvas to 140. Okay. I'll call this minigame like Gas Patrol or something stupid like that. Because those kind of feel like that kind of game to me. So in Gas Patrol, what would happen is, oh, this is a problem. Okay, how Gas Patrol will work is I have these two sprites, right? I have to actually duplicate some of them here. Duplicate. Call one Helibird, the other one, I don't know, something stupid as, I don't know, car. Carbull, kind of carbull or something. Now I need to make like a bunch of gas, I guess, or okay, this one needs to be cropped to layer only. Okay. Okay. A bird, car. Then I need a sprite of some gas, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna be coding the game here today, guys, because I think it's gonna be too big of a task to deal with. But I'll try to do it at some other time, I guess. Okay. Oh. Let's color this gas yellow. Oh no, those are being used by these two. Let's call it orange, I guess. Right. I might have to resize Halibird here at some point. Okay. Okay. Ah, god damn it. We're forgetting to make a new layer for these sprites here. Okay, go. Alright, so let's create a duplicate of this. Okay. Alright, here we go. Guess we can actually get rid of like a little bit of a quarter of this space over here. Well, let's do that, shall we? Here we go. Okay. A bit better at how this looks. Let's make a new canvas. Call this, I know, something as silly as road. Oh my god, I have to actually do this all over again. Okay, here we go. Alright, we got our freaking thing here. We've got Helibird, we've got the car, which I think would be situated somewhere around here. And I think I'm also gonna create the road. What can the road's color be? I want it in black, but not that black, like in cool orange or something like that. Okay. Then let's apply some kind of gradient to it. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, what's happening right now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's call this game something. Okay, why isn't this painting my thing? Okay. We'll paint everything here. Okay. Alright. Alright, so basically, how I want this game to work is... Here, I'll get a big grid for now, because that's a bit too distracting. Okay. Alright, so how I want this game to work is that there's... it's basically 5 gas tanks lined up in a row here. And as the game progresses, there'll be a bunch of these cars coming up from behind the screen here. From under the screen here, just going over and going up to the tank here. And it's your job as Mr. Helibird here to fill up the gas tanks as soon as they get empty. So you'll be going around filling up these gas tanks. And if ever these gas tanks get empty, the cars will sort of like honk at you saying, "Yo, Helibird, please give me some freaking gas." And when that happens, it's your job as the manager of these gas station to sort of fill up the gas for them. Now, if the gas in the tank gets not full, the car will go down the freaking column, and that would be a minus point if the car, if after honking, would go down and leave the screen. That would be minus points. But if you manage to fill up the tank, he'll come back and give you another point. So this entire minigame will be in under a minute. There'll be a timer that would count this down from 1 minute, or maybe I'll make it endless. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's your job as the Helibird person to move around, and it's a job as the car person here to, oh, it's not really a job, but the NPC here to sort of like drink gas when he reaches the top here. I might have to code this at another day. Not sure yet, but you guys can kind of get the gist of it. I'll probably do this another time just to see how this would work. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Is there anything else I can do with this? No, I think I'll try to just test this out first on my off time. So for now, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like what you see, which is really that much, be sure to like and subscribe. Tomorrow, I think I will try to do another Blender stream wherein we continue with the cozy cabin we created in Blender. Then we will go ahead and make another live stream wherein I teach you guys about CAD CAM in the near future. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe exercise a little bit, and I'm gonna see you guys in another stream. That's it, guys. See you. Now go read a book. Bye.